Hello all and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about one yoke of Mambusek. This one is one of the most extremist. So we got over Matros and Utquamut, which are the different covenantal spirits of Mambusek. Right now we enter the fields of darkness. We right now enter the dissolving spirits, the venomous spirits. As we said before in the introduction of Mambusek is himself derived and connected with Samael, with the poison of God. They share potentially the same root. So, Bloyossh is not a destroyer, he's a patient of the time itself, but he can also initiate that destruction. Bloyossh is the very essence and force of destruction. He is best visualized as not the punch that hits the wall, the battling ram that hits the gate. He is the dire consequence when that punch lands, when that stone of the catapult hits the castle and the walls fall. He is the very downwards force that destroys structure, and you will see this in his potential etymology, because Bloyossh B-L-O, so he's primarily that force of destruction that brings, he's primarily that force of destruction, of erosion, that breaks down structures. But he can be very well the initiator of that movement, of that destruction. But I found this is best paired with other spirits, with Mambusek, for example, or the spirits that I will share in the next videos. So what you can take from this is that you can implement him in your curse. For example, you do a curse with Belial or with Andras. There will be the punch, and Bloyossh will be there to a never-ending bleeding wound. So he's the silent force of erosion, the whisper of inevitability that slowly removes all things that lack permanence. So if you integrate him in your being, in a theurgic, a platonic sense, he's the one that strips away all that is not you. So in my actual spiritual workings, in my theurgy with him, as Mambusek, I had found that he collapses you. He's an overwhelming force of darkness. He's very much like Abaddon, and I connected him to Abaddon because in this analogy, Abaddon is the pit, the descending pit. If Abaddon is the pit, then Bloyossh is the force that brings down the soul to the pit. So this is their connection. The presence of the spirit. It's very fading light. It's very hello, I'm just here kind of vibe. But I had found with many spirits of Mambusek, they are not very much for show. They will not bring high and elevated energies. They are very attuned to destruction and darkness themselves. They prefer the magician to be energyless. So if you also want to pathwork them, expect to be energyless. because this is what they like. They would like you to reach to point A to point B without much talk. They like discipline. They like action, real tangible power. And this is how you will see them around your life. Not very much in an ecstatic ritual kind of working, but in a very tangible, show me the power sort of vibe in actual real life. Now let's get into his name. So he can be primarily broken into three components: Blo, Yo, and Sh, which in the Blo form, in the first compound, the Blo, we can connect it with the Hebrew word Beluy, which means to warn, which means age, which means decaying. The second component of his name is Yo, which this can be connected to Yod. Yod is the smallest spark. It is the first letter of the Lord of Yod Hei Hadve. Thirdly, his name, the third compound, Sh, can be connected to Shaza, which also means to decay.